Boom, rocks in the room. And you want to know what tip number 17 for selling your house on your own is? Stand by for that. And also in real estate news for real people today, I'm going to deconstruct a blog post from an agent, I guess, to discourage for sale by owners. But if you're a homeowner of the information age, I'm here to encourage you to successfully sell your home on your own. If you're interested in maximizing your profit and minimizing your stress in that process, or if you want to have the knowledge, tools, and confidence that you need to succeed in doing it, you're in the right place. I'm Rock, Florida, and I've been disrupting the real estate industry from the inside for a long time, and I'm here to teach you how to rewrite the rules in your favor. And tip number 17 of 101. I have an ebook available if you don't want to listen to this guff. You can come and get it. It's a $20 value for free in the links, and everything that you need to sell a house fits on one sheet of paper, and I've put it in the link below as well. But tip number 17 today: has my car been snowed in? Or if you're in West Texas, maybe there was a dust storm or sandstorm that has polluted all of the sidewalks and streets. How efficient are your city's services? How effective is the municipality in which you live in providing enough firemen, snow removal trucks, cleanup trucks, garbage collection systems? What about the facilities for the recycled waste material? The more that you know about your community's services, the better you can capitalize on these selling points. And that's more about knowing your community and using that information to encourage prospective buyers to make a sound purchasing decision. So, hey, do ask me questions, comment. I really appreciate all of the interactions that I've had when discussing this material. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also do whatever it takes to ask me for what you may need to know about what you wish you would have known before you need to know it. And in real estate news for real people today, I am going to deconstruct a blog post that is an agent writing to discourage for sale by owners. Say no to FSBO. 7 risks home sellers take when they go it alone. Now, in today's market, the stakes are high. Decisions are swift, and there is an immense pressure on everyone in the transaction, which is why sellers need a real estate agent by their side. But I digress. I disagree with that particular narrative as it's written. You only need certain levels of assistance, but the real estate markets are running about 100 degrees in this winter, or heat index of 120. But the first point that this agent brings up about why you shouldn't go it alone is availability and accessibility for showings. The old school argument against selling your home yourself was that it would be a hit and miss experience if you didn't have a way for agents to easily show your property based on their and the buyer's schedule, not yours. No lockbox, no access, and let's throw a dart with trying to coordinate schedules. Haphazardly, try it another day. Now, I'm going to unpack that a little bit, because a whole lot of us are stuck at home anymore, right? And we can't just go off at the buyer's discretion. My particular primary debate against that particular initiative, now I'll just call it an argument, is that if it's that buyer's house, if you're going out and you're shopping for a house, I ascribe to a certain values worldview in which, if that's God's house for you and you're being honest, obedient, and faithful to follow through on what you know is right and best for everybody, it won't get away from you. So schedule it at your discretion. Okay. And as far as lock boxes, if you need one or if you don't have keyless entry anymore, more and more of the agent's perceived or projected value is being reduced or eliminated by available technologies. All right. Heck, just give them your garage door code or your guest garage door code, your guest code for your home, and schedule it at your discretion. Right? You have to take care and secure your family and schedule things around your schedule because, quite frankly, more of us are all working from home, and you can't just take the text or SMS or call from a scheduling appointment center and they're going to ask you to get out on a time that may or may not work for you anyway. So, the second point is safety protocols. Speaking of showings, depending on what state, country, county, or region within that state the property is located, there may be variations of some sort of stay-at-home order, safety protocols. In this article, they're all talking about COVID safety and how an agent is trained as a gatekeeper for seller's home to ensure safe and responsible showing activity. Well, guess what? You're still the best gatekeeper for your home. All the time, every time. And again, if you have specific requirements about how you would ask your prospective buyer or somebody coming within your home, you're going to be well advised to have those delivered to them and personally. Just know your limits, know your boundaries, know your safety protocols, your own personal safety protocols. And on the other side of that argument, again, how many of us have safety protocols in place, which are video cameras and other stuff that we just have more technology and more accessibility to protect our own home and the safety thereof. So you're the best representative for that. I'm sorry. But 3, multiple offers and bidding wars, right? An agent's going to be the only one who knows how to handle that, right? Sorry. Not necessarily true. Selling a home today can be perceived as winning the lottery or hitting the jackpot. Just put the for sale sign out and have people throw offers at you. When you go it alone, that's exactly what might happen. Like, that's a problem, right? However, do you know how to make sense of any of those offers and truly understand each one? You may receive them in many ways. Someone writing it on a piece of paper or someone else saying their attorney will be in touch, depending on where you're located. And I just can't take this, man. They continue to think that today's homeowner of the information age is ignorant, okay? And yes, they may just deliver it on a piece of paper, okay? Or electronically, but an offer only consists of 5 elements, folks. It's not that difficult. It's really simple. It's only easy after you've done it a few hundred times. But again, you might want to try it because it's really not that difficult. But this entire narrative that this particular, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll tell you at the end who was the drafter of this blog. But if you think you can sift through a maze of confusion, then go right ahead. You might agree to something that you would have never wanted to had you known and fully understood the process is how it's written. And it's like, man, people, everybody who's a licensed agent seems to maybe consider that anybody who happens to be a home seller who's not licensed doesn't know how to read. Is kind of the general gist of things. Just ticks me off, in case you hadn't noticed. Number 4, reasons why you should just say no to FSBO. Accepting a new offer is only the beginning. Right. Before I go into reading this one a little bit, I'm just going to explain it a little bit to you. It's simple and not always easy, but selling a house is a whole lot like, man, getting married. Right? You're dating the marketplace, you get engaged, that's the new offer, you're engaged, but then you got to still get to the altar, which is the closing. In a hot market, the challenge is not receiving offers, but ensuring that the one the seller goes with makes it to the finish line. Despite the low inventory, this is often more difficult than a seller may realize. Frenetic markets can create impulsive decision-making based on the fear of missing out. It can be easy for buyers to get sucked into the cycle of putting offers on every property that comes to the market that's a remote possibility, because they know many buyers are doing this from afar. The problem with this approach is buyers were never all in from the beginning, which is true. They're not. They're just dating and then they're engaged. They still got to make it through the engagement process. But again, alluding to the fact that, yes, there is a transaction management process. Okay, that's this simple. There's 3 steps in my system, folks. I've been doing this long enough. It's systemized. You can learn the system, but 3 steps: prepare your property, present it to the market the property, and represent it. So you're going to have a transaction to manage, and you can get help with that, right? You don't have to pay 6% or even 3% to manage a transaction, right? There are service providers out there who will help massage your pain points through the process. You just need to ask the right questions and know a little bit more about who those might be. Number 5 reason why just say no to FSBO: disconnect disease. Love this. We've got new diseases. I'd love to see if this one comes up in the DSM-6 or whichever one's up. Sellers who sell without an agent tend to have less awareness of everything they need to do when it comes to properly preparing a home for sale, as well as presenting and marketing it. Well, thank you. That lack of awareness or indifference can result in costly mistakes. It can cause them to lag on the market or leave money on the table. They call this disconnect disease, and sure, their agents can arrange to see it and take some videos or do a live remote. I don't really get this as a reason why they think a for sale by owner shouldn't do it on their own. I'm sorry, they're just talking about a bunch of guff about having a properly prepared property that a buyer needs to be comfortable about purchasing from afar. That's easy to do, folks. It's real easy. There's really only 16 items that you need to make a buyer feel comfortable from across the other side of the planet with purchasing your property. Number 6 reason why just say no to FSBO: transaction complications. A myriad of things can go wrong when a property goes under contract. A buyer's financing can go sideways as underwriters continue to scrutinize files very closely. This is especially true as more buyers want to relocate and work remotely. Does a seller know how to handle lender extension and unforeseen delays? Well, let me tell you something about transaction complications, folks. I've done hundreds and hundreds of deals, and I'm still surprised. And yes, it's good to have experienced third-party independent counsel when you run into a particular challenge, right? And that's with any business, okay? It's always good to ask for help in areas. But there's going to be complications. Well, I digress. There's times I've had a few deals that go through entirely smoothly, okay? And those only happen because of seller and buyer goodwill, which is something I'll be talking about at length on my YouTube channel. There's a lot about that. But as long as sellers and buyers are actually honest and forthright and clear and vulnerable to a point with each other, it usually goes really well. And number 7 reason why you're supposed to just say no to FSBO is post-occupancy issues. In today's market, the likelihood of sellers wanting to stay in their homes post-closing is becoming increasingly common. Does a seller know how to structure a post-closing occupancy agreement that spells out the rules of the road with regard to liability, repairs, and damage once a seller no longer owns the house? They're talking about delayed occupancy issues here. And while I'm never a true fan of that, quite frankly, agents don't really know how to address those properly either. They have a specific addendum that's 3 pages long that kind of spells it out. so that both parties know how more to deal with their insurances and assets and things that may be left in place. But again, you want to have an actual attorney in those events, not somebody who's just a licensed real estate agent, salesperson, or broker. Okay. But I get so, I would love to see more blogs. If you have successfully for sale by ownered, if you have achieved what it is that agents at large are so insecure or afraid of actually losing their livelihood because of their reducing the reduction of need for their particular expertise in this day and age. You write a blog for sale by owners, why I succeeded, how I succeeded, and how you can too. Okay, because the majority of rhetoric out there is trying to embrace the fear factor of a need that you may not have. But I've gone really long-winded today because this one's a little bit close to home. I'm tired of agents pitching the rhetoric of you can't do it yourself. Okay? There are some things you may need help with, and that's what I advocate for and hope that you come to have a clearer understanding of. And if you need any help ever, please don't hesitate to call. And I really pray blessings on you and your house. Make it a great